what is going on, guys? I am Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another Zombies Q&A where we take your questions from the comment section below to do with the zombie storyline and answer them. As always, if you want to know anything, if there's anything that you want to ask, leave your questions down below. Make sure you are subscribed if you want to. Drop a like rating. But let's get into this. Here we go. So, the first question of today from Dakota Lopez says, "Hey BOA, why have none of our characters never said anything about the song Easter eggs? Love your videos." So I think the songs that we have in each and every map are more for just us to listen to than storyline related, or I don't think the characters in game would actually hear them. I mean, that isn't really one I can answer. I don't think there is a proper answer to it, and I don't believe they're storyline or Easter egg related. Of course, in every Zombies map, we have a brand new song. My personal favourite, I don't know about you guys, was the Verrucht one. I can't remember right now what it was called. Also, the one on Derice as well. That was good. Let me know in the comment section below which was your favourite. But yeah, when we activate these Easter eggs, I don't believe it has anything to do with the storyline. The characters can't hear it. It's more for us. The next question of today from Robert Baez says, "I'm sorry bro if I got your name wrong, but you say, so you never explained why you never continued or finished the World War II zombie story. Also, there's a lot of content you started but never continue. Why?" So, I did start covering World War II Zombies before it came out, and I also covered the first Zombies map, the Final Reich, but that is where I stopped. I didn't go on to do DLC 2, 3 or 4, and it was simply because I wasn't interested. The first map, the Final Reich, was actually really good, and the build up to World War II Zombies was super interesting. The Easter eggs in the Final Reich were awesome. Personally, that was my favourite map in World War II Zombies, and then DLC 1 came out, and for me, it was a total letdown. I didn't enjoy playing it, and simply if I don't enjoy something, I'm not going to upload it. The reason I upload Treyarch Zombies is because I love the storyline. I'm more of a storyline person than actual gameplay, which is why you never really see me do just general gameplays on the channel. It's because I love the storyline. Obviously, I enjoy playing the game, but to be totally honest, I don't actually play too much games at the moment. I'm playing a lot of single player games, I'm enjoying campaigns, but in terms of multiplayer, lately, or I should say actually over the past couple of years, I haven't found myself playing as much. But when it comes to the storyline, everything about that I absolutely love, which is why I make videos on it. So going back to World War II Zombies, the storyline started off good for me, but then when DLC 1 came around, I didn't find the gameplay fun, and also the story of it was pretty boring as well. So I just decided if I'm not passionate for it, I'm not gonna upload it, and then I didn't end up downloading DLC 2, 3 or 4. I never even played those maps of World War II. I watched people play them, and I learned a bit about the story, but it just wasn't interesting to me. And you could say the same for Infinite Warfare Zombies. I personally didn't enjoy that. I did quite enjoy Exo Zombies and Extinction. I played them quite a bit, but other than Treyarch's, just because I find their storyline amazing, and most of the maps are fun to play. At the moment, the map I've been playing the most is probably Shadows of Evil, but yeah, that's the main reason. It's just because I didn't enjoy it. If I don't like something, if I'm not into it, I don't feel I can give you the best videos, so I'm not going to do it. The next question from 30-second video says, "Hey BOA, in Buried at the beginning, Misty talks about a wound or bite. Please explain." So yes, I remember this when Buried first came out. A couple of people actually made a video on this, saying that Misty had been bitten by a zombie. So if you start up Buried and play as Misty, she will say this.
Somehow, I don't think that wound's gonna heal easily.
You can see she says, "Somehow I don't think that wound's gonna heal easily." Now, some people in other videos said that she was talking about the fall from the ground level of Buried as you slide down underground, but this isn't true because as you can see, she says this before she falls. So what exactly could Misty be talking about? Has she been bitten by a zombie? Is Misty wounded? What could she be going on about? Well, I think there's a few possibilities. First off, if you do look on Misty's body, she does have cuts and bruises, wounds all over her. As you'd expect, fighting the zombies for years, she's bound to get some marks and scratches, and she does. In between the time of the map before this, Die Rise and Buried, there was a long time that the transit crew just went wandering the earth, waiting for Richtof and Maxis to tell them where to go next. They were just wandering, fighting the zombies for a long time. We don't know the specific things that they did, but is it possible that on that journey in between that time, Misty was wounded or even attacked by a zombie, possibly bitten. We know of course she isn't infected because we've seen she's perfectly fine in the comic books which take place after this, or in Blood of the Dead, so she doesn't go on to turn into a zombie, but it's possible she was attacked or bitten, scratched by one, and that's what she's talking about. Another thing I thought is maybe she's on about the earth. If you look just outside of Buried, there is the fracturing, a massive hole in the ground. There is the rift where the earth is split open. She could be talking about the wound in the ground in that sense, or maybe she's talking about her and the characters mentally, how they feel. Again, like I said, having been fighting against zombies for a long time, possibly they're drained and she's talking about her mental wounds. That's possible. We really don't know. And yes, it is kind of a strange quote because none of the other characters say anything like this. Yes, when they go down the slide, they'll talk about how they scratch themselves sliding on there, but Misty says this quote before she goes underground, which is a little bit strange. Could something have happened to her in between Dire Eyes and Buried? Like I said, there are marks on Misty more than any other character, and we know that she's a bit rougher, I guess, and more of a fighter than the other characters, so it's definitely a strange one. However, we do know, or I think we can say, that she doesn't go on to turn into a zombie, so either way, if she is hurt or wounded, she isn't infected. Gunnar Holly says, question, why does no one have to eat food in zombies? Richtofen even says that the three-headed dogs eating zombies looks appetizing. So a strange question, but I guess it's valid. We don't actually see the zombies characters, Primus, Ultimus, whoever it is, eating in game. However, on the Black Ops 3 Zombies menu, that was the only time we did see our characters eat. When they were sitting on the log in the forest, occasionally they'd open up a can and eat whatever's inside of there. I'm assuming it's beans or something. But we did see our characters eat in the BO3 Zombies menu, but that's pretty much the only time. I mean, in most games, our characters don't eat. I mean, we don't question it, it just happens. I'm assuming they do eat whatever scraps are left around the universe after a zombie outbreak. We just don't see it. Of course, they drink the perks, so at least they're having something. Andrew Flores Zoniga says, hey Black Ops Amazing, love your videos. Question, how do some of the COD World at War characters end up being a zombies crew? So what you're asking is, why are our zombies characters in the campaign, specifically for World at War? And yes, of course, during World at War, zombies wasn't important. It wasn't Treyarch's priority, it was just a side project. They weren't going to go out their way to create models, objects specifically for zombies. They took all of the assets that we saw in World at War Zombies from the campaign, so they didn't have to make new models, which would cost them time and money. Like I said, because zombies wasn't a priority, they just took assets from the campaign and reused them in zombies, which is the reason why we can see Richtofen, Takio, Nikolai and Dempsey. All of those characters were originally from the World at War campaign and then taken and used in zombies. It's the same for the World at War maps, Nakdar and Toten, Varuk, Darish, Shinonuma. Those were all parts of the World at War campaign or multiplayer, again, taken and reused for zombies. During World at War, Treyarch only created a few things specifically for that game mode, like the ray gun. The main reason really is just because it would have cost them a lot of money and time to create assets for a game mode that wasn't a priority. It was just supposed to be a fun little thing for them on the side. Of course, nowadays Zombies is massive and it gets its own assets, it's got its own team, it has its own budget, but back then that's just how it was. And a quick one I just wanted to answer, I always get questions like this, basically people asking me, how do I start on YouTube? I want to become a YouTuber, can you help me out? It's always a nice question to answer if I can help anyone, but I would honestly say do something that you love. Personally, I love doing COD Zombies. People always say to me, why don't you do a different game? Why don't you try something else? Obviously, I used to do GTA. I really enjoyed that game until I got bored of it, but COD Zombies is something I love. It's something I know a lot about and so can make videos on, whereas if I change to a different game I know nothing about, then I feel I can't make good videos. So the first thing I say is just pick something that you love to make videos on. Second, I'd say be consistent. I think that's the main thing. Don't go a month or 2 or weeks without uploading. Try to upload every day or every other day. They're really my main 2 things. Other than that, obviously do something different that other people aren't doing. And obviously what also helps is having a good title and thumbnails. But the main thing for me is just make videos on something you know about and that you love doing, and be consistent. And also be patient with YouTube. It can take a long time. You never know, one day one of your videos could get a lot more recognition, so just be patient. So anyway guys, that is all I have for you for today's video. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, you know what to do by now. Drop a like rating, make sure you are subscribed, and click that notification icon as well to stay up to date with the latest zombies videos on the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.